All right, so we're grateful that you were still with us on Business Focus. At this time, we've moved out of the studio, and here we are with a mover, somebody who is turning industry around. He happens to have worked in Ghana for over 10 years. He is into the ICT field. We're celebrating our mover today, the head of Global Solutions Ghana, Femi Morino. Many thanks for joining us on Business Focus.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing how long you've been working in the country, well over 10 years, and specifically into ICT and providing services in the power sector. Can you share with us, working in Ghana, how it feels like?
It's been great over time because we've passed through the turbulent moment, but it's been great working here because development processes takes place. For a new organization coming into a country, you need to do a lot of things to ensure that you maintain a standard. And that standard is not just for you alone. You must also ensure that you are compliant with your environment and then meet shareholders' expectations as well. So it's been great.
It's been great, and obviously going out to lead a business that conforms with the tenets of the country. Let me come to somebody watching us this evening wants to know. So Global Solutions, they've carved their niche into which area? We talk about ICT, but which specific areas?
We are into banking solution. We provide end-to-end solution in terms of all the banks. We are into power solutions as well. For example, in case of inverter, UPSs and things like that, we provide that solution. When it comes to data center solution as well, for example, if you want to establish your data center, maybe you are a bank, or you are in the oil feed, oil servicing companies, or you are in the energy sector as well, we can provide our data center for you. We are also into e-banking solution. By e-bank solution, we represent organization for ATM-related solutions as well, and various other channels we do. It's
amazing. You realize all these have something to do with the computer, with ICT, and you into the financial sector, you are even wondering, so are we at a point where we are getting to that cash-light society or cashless society, so to say?
We are pushing it because in the past, people want to actually move cash for various transactions. But these days, you realize that people can do online transfer. They can pay money through the mobile. They can also just pay their checks in. Comfort in terms of you don't have a bounce check. In the past, when somebody gives you a check, until you get the cash, you don't trust the money.
That's
but
right.
These days, the government has a policy. You can't give somebody a good check. If you do that, it's something that you'll be penalized for. So we get into the era where people now trust the instrument we are using around in terms of the checks, in terms of the mobile phone, in terms of the internet facility and other things. So we are really approaching an era where there will be a bit of cash-light environment. I would say cashless because definitely you need a bit of cash to move around once in a while.
You talk about how you support the banking industry with data, with information, with ICT. Can you break it down a little bit? So you're working with Ghanaian banks, you're working with...
We work with various banks in Ghana and we provide them banking solution. What I mean by banking solution is this: we have a software company we represent in Ghana. It's actually having its headquarters in Switzerland. So that's the company we represent here in Ghana. It's called Temeng. So that's the company we represent here. In terms of the power solutions as well, we have various organizations we also represent as well. In terms of our data center solution, it encompasses several products. You have in data center, you have the access control, you have the race floor. So we bring together all these components to achieve the desired results of the bank. In a secured environment, your server must be secured. Access to your data center must be restricted as well. Access to even your software needs to be restricted as well. So there are various things we have to put in place to ensure that this is actually achieved in the industry today, which we are actually doing.
So you are a business that sees to the bank's ATM needs, where the fixing of the equipment and the like could easily be done by you because it's out of the bank's domain sometimes.
Currently, we don't really have what we call like managed services ATM. I don't think it's very common now in Ghana. It's something for the future as well, because it will get to a stage where the bank wants to take the ATM off them, wants somebody else to manage the service. We do a bit of managed services outside Ghana. We can provide you the ATM, manage it from end to end in terms of that. We do that. But in Ghana today, we are not doing that now. it's something you can do. We are planning for the future.
Since you talk about ICT so well, I know there's a canker in there where hackers all over are trying to outwit smart people like you who are very versatile in the computer industry. Do you think this menace can be dealt with ever?
For us in the industry, we want to be ahead of hackers. We want to do ahead of hackers. We are very innovative. We are very creative as well in terms of what do we do next? What do we do next? So any little problem we notice, or challenges, I won't call it problem, challenges we notice in the industry, we go ahead and create an environment that will make it inconvenient for them to actually operate. So hacking will always continue. People will still go in, develop something that is contrary to expectation. But at the end of the day, you just need to be ahead of them in terms of providing solutions to the financial services.
Femi, it's amazing the way you were able to break information around the ICT sector. But I wonder, well, this is a genius, an African child who is raised to this level, but what about the average African child? Today, when you travel around Africa, across Africa, the way we groom our younger ones, are they able to meet the future needs of any growing child across the world, with highlights on the Western world?
I think we're getting there, because today several people have sent their children overseas to learn something new in terms of technology, and a lot of them are coming back with those. With the wonderful knowledge they have acquired as well and passing. It's also very, very important to also know that in various government schools today or private school, ICT has been seen as part of the core curriculum. So, which is very good. It means that right from childhood, you are training the child how to use IV, how to use equipment, use computer, be able to do one or two things on the computer. And then even when you buy games, take your children to the mall, buy some level of games for them as well. It's a form of
building them.
Yeah, you are building up so that you are testing their IQ to ensure that they can see beyond just the little. But we still have a long way to go in Africa, because a lot of statistics have been there to say that close to about 60% of African children still underdeveloped. What I mean by underdeveloped is that a lot of them don't even have access to the basic need of life that we think we have in the cities. You and I are in the cities, then we have access to a lot of things. If you go to the remote areas, they don't have light, no power supply, no nothing across several African countries. Doomsaw everywhere. So you have, like somebody said, you have it virtually across. And if you don't have access to light, so how we use the computer? Unless you're going to use a solar power. And I don't think that investment is what the government is doing now. We just need to pay more attention to the rural dwellers to ensure that they also take benefit of the growth in the ICT industry. And where we think we need to put more investment there as well, we need to look at the various schools, various government schools, and also encourage them to do more in terms of ICT. And not just do more in terms of ICT, provide the enabling environment for these children to be able to achieve the greatness we hope for the future.
Today you manage Global Solutions Ghana and you are the helm of affairs. Let me find out from you, when it comes to your daily life, what you do to keep this business going, what are your major highlights?
My daily life starts as early as maybe around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Within 3 to 4 a.m. I'm already awake. And take a review in terms of previous day activities. Take a check, look what I need to do ahead of today, put them together. If there are things there are some things, naturally in life, some things are important but they are not urgent. I give priority to those that are really important and very urgent in terms
because
of
I'm coming down to what kind of a leader you are. I mean, in terms of running this kind of business, what kind of a leader would you say you are?
I want people to do their job. That's the type of leaders I want to be. Like I jokingly tell my staff, I said I'm paid to do nothing.
Okay.
I'm paid to do nothing. It means that for every resource we have, for every staff we have in the organization, they have their responsibility and role. My responsibility is to talk to the various head of department and ensure that we are delivering value and meeting customers' expectation. Like they say, a customer, a well-served customer is actually your brand on wheel. Is your brand on wheel. For example, if I serve you well Next time, I don't need to tell you to come. You will announce to the next person, oh, go to this place, go to Global Solution. They did X, Y, Z for me, and they met my
So your
expectation.
keyword is what? A well-served customer is?
It's your brand on wheel.
It's your brand on wheels.
Yes, it's a brand on wheels.
So you were expatiating on it. I'm interested. So
yes, what happened is this. If I serve you well, everywhere you go to, you talk to me. If somebody asks you today, Kweku, I want to do something regarding a banking software. You said, oh, sorry? Global Solution attended to me. I know a guy there, his name is Femi, and blah, blah, blah. Before you realize it,
is there delivered?
You made promotion. You promoted the organization indirectly. So the guy is on wheel at the same time becoming my promoter indirectly.
How do you feel when you go into an office and the delivery you receive, the service you receive is porous? As a leader of an institution, how do you feel?
Disappointed, but in most cases, if it's something I can correct, I look at the person at the end of affairs there and talk to the person directly.
As you go around your daily routine, do you find this very common? As CEOs are watching, are these activities happening in people's companies that you could say that is crippling their businesses?
I think we have a bit of occurrence left and right, but it's better now. Service is better now. Even in the government sector, service is better. People want to do what they need to do. But one thing I've always done over the years is that if I notice something I'm not really happy with, I will definitely find time to talk to somebody that is at the helm of the affair there. Not politely, and just tell the person, sorry, the service rendered by XYZ is not really meeting standard, and I think you need to look at that and improve on it. People have called me, Femi, you've done this XYZ, we want this improved upon, and then we've done it. The good thing about life is that if somebody tells you where you have problems or challenges, it's promoting your business. Because if he doesn't want to promote your business, he does one-time business with you, he's off, and he doesn't come back to your office. And that is not what we really want in business.
What are the challenges you face in your business today, operating in Ghana well over 10 years now? What are some of the difficulties that really come to your decks, whether with government or with personnel?
I think the major challenge we face today, it's actually in terms of inflation and the exchange rate. You know, most of these services we actually render today, they are imported services. A lot of the equipment are imported, and if these things are going to be imported, whatever amount you get in Ghana cedi needs to be converted to either US dollar, euro, or GBP, and ensure it's transferred to the client.
In the near future, I'd want to see global solutions. I mean, would you still be on providing energy services or power services, and then also moving into the financial sector? What else would you be doing? What's the future for you?
In terms of providing other services, we're already servicing the energy sector. What I mean by the energy sector, you know, if you talk about energy, it's wide. You can talk about the oil servicing, you can talk about the oil fields, you can talk about electricity generation and things like that. We are already in the oil servicing industry. We provide a level of service through our sister company. The organization sister company is into oil servicing, so we provide services to that sector. In terms of other sectors of the economy that are also, let's say, for example, the power generation or power distribution and things like that, we provide a bit of services to them as well in terms of automation processes if they are specific. We also have a company in Nigeria that also render a bit of service to them. So under the group, we actually service virtually all the sectors of the economy. So just tell me what you want. I should be able to tell you a member of the group that will provide that service.
Okay. Today we are all into our mobile phones, and it's one area I would critically want to see how technology can be enhanced such that it would go a long way to provide the services that we are looking for. Yes, you've mentioned how financial services you're able to help with data. Is the mobile phone able to turn the industry around when it comes to providing financial services?
I think so. We are approaching an era where the phone will become like your bank. Because today you can do a lot of transfer on your phone. I can transfer from one account to the other, even if it's my personal account or it's going to be my family account, depending on what I've set up with the bank. That's an era that we're getting into. And then you can also do transfer across banks today as well using your mobile phone. Just need to put in place adequate security to ensure that It's secured. It's not tampered with by any hacker, as we said initially.
So we won't see companies build more banking halls, build more banking facilities?
I doubt that. I think you rather see more in terms of e-channels branches. E-channel branches where you just go in there with maybe just a single person there attending to multiple people in terms of several people in terms of their banking needs. If you want to do a cash deposit, you have a deposit machine. You just do your deposit, get your slip, and then you move out. So you don't need to give it to a teller to get that done. If you want to withdraw your money, just go to the ATM machine, do a withdrawal. And in some cases, if it's not something you really need cash for, just sit down at the comfort of your home and then do a transfer, and that's all the problem.
I am looking at ending up with you, but it's for the 21st century youth out there. If you'd have to advise that person on engaging himself or herself in ICT, what would you tell that person? You could just look into the camera and just advise that.
Oh, I think there's nothing you're going to do today that you don't need IT. Virtually, there is nothing. I don't think so. For example, if you modernize selling kinky, you definitely need to have a means of recording your details. Sometimes somebody wants to get a receipt out of it and give to you. So that's an aspect of it that we need to do. Everybody must be involved in IT. Medicine today is IT related. Pharmacy today is IT related. Which other? All professions. All professions. For example, if you start looking at it from the angle as well, in terms of the train system, it's going to be IT related. People can buy their vouchers, buy everything in future using that. So I think for the 21st century youth in the country, the focus must be an aspect that brings joy to you. What I mean by bringing joy to you is an aspect that you love doing at ease. For example, if, for example, you can produce something within the confine of your home, you need to focus on it. If it's if you want to become a stylist, don't say you are a graduate, the stylists are supposed to be non-educated or things like that. And don't tell yourself the hairdressers are supposed to be non-educated. Sincerely, in the next 10 to 20 years, you have a lot of graduates in this field.
All right, so you had the advice come up from Femi Morino. Yes, you are a young man, you don't have that ICT base, the world would be slipping out of your hands. Get some education in this area. Well, many thanks for joining us. Femi Morino is an ICT expert. He's also the head of Global Solutions, and he is our mover for today. Sincerely, we're grateful having you. When we come back, you know your ICT needs, but now you'd have to know your financial needs. And Winslow Sakifio would be joining us to give us all the updates that we need to know about investments. Do stay with us. We'll be back shortly.